What's up, guys? It's John Dominique, aka the Soul Proponent, here to talk about the soul and spiritual awakening as an option because most people don't think spiritual awakening is an option or they don't know about it. They're not aware of it as an option, as a possibility. So, my whole channel here is dedicated to educating people and letting them know about my own experience, and in that way helping other people to just be informed, to be aware of the possibility that there is such thing as spiritual awakening. And it's not just talk, it's not just for theory, it's not just for like intellectual exercise or debate. It's an actual felt lived reality as a practice, as a way of life. And that's kind of where one of the issues happens, because people, they kind of don't want to take it as, they don't want to actually put it into practice. Really, they just want to keep it as an option in their mind, as a theory in the back of their mind. So it takes a special, what's the word, an exhaustion, a way of exhausting all the other possibilities, all the other options, and it's a process of chipping away of it's more of a giving, more of a reverse engineering. It's more of a subtractive process is what I'm trying to say. Because most people think, it's something in addition to, they can do something and then they'll get somewhere. Most people have that attitude that it's something that they do that will get them a spiritual awakening. That's kind of true, but ultimately it's more of an undoing. It's the survival instinct, especially, and the ego identity, this sense of who we think we are. It has a need to survive, and people really don't think about how deep that need to survive is, because it's kind of an unconscious thing. But ultimately, that need to survive we have to look into that, and to do that requires that we're willing to experience our helplessness, our worthlessness, feelings of helplessness, basically, not being able to do anything, to feel totally vulnerable to reality, with the way reality is, without trying to lift a finger, without putting up, internal defenses and walls, because that's what the personality mostly is. It's just like a wall, it's like a defense. So to even think about giving up and undoing or living without this idea of who we take ourselves to be, this sense of identity, and the walls and the defenses that we're so accustomed to, brings up a great terror of having no support, of not having a sense of self, and the feeling of that you're not going to survive is a deep wounding. It really hurts. It's like a narcissistic wound here. The ego identity has a sense of pride because it thrives on survival. That's what it needs to do, and when it doesn't have that to fall back on, there's judgments and there's reactions, and it becomes a huge mess that people would rather not deal with. So we have to know that there's an option, and the option includes looking into further our need to survive, and our instincts to survive. The feeling of helplessness and powerlessness is what we're going to face when we get there, but nobody wants to do that. But again, in theory, people think it's a good idea. Okay, maybe, but what about in practice? And I'm here to just let people know that there's an option. Spiritual awakening is an option. Most people, again, think about it in theory. Oh, yeah, that could be an option, but they don't do anything about it. So I'm here to offer the idea that there is a way to go about it, and one of the ways, the way that we approach it makes a huge difference. And the way that we approach it has to be through like a humility, a humbling, a letting go, of hitting a rock bottom and exhausting all of our other options, and continuing to do that, to see that there is no other option. And once we get there, that humbles us, and we have to be willing, ready, and able to start doing the practices that it requires to experience spiritual awakening. And one of the first practices is kind of a change in our attitude. It's a change in our priorities. What we think is important has to shift. We think it's important to survive, and that is important. I'm not saying not to survive. Like, we have to. You can't just wash that need to survive away with a hot shower. So it's not throwing. It's not a matter of throwing away our need to survive and our basic needs, our basic rights as humans. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of looking into the faults to reveal the truth. And the truth is kind of hiding behind this idea of what we've taken ourselves to be. We think the truth is that we're a person. And, in a way that is true, but a person is just a concept. It's an idea. It's almost like an imaginary thing that doesn't exist in objective reality. It's subjective. We have to kind of use our imagination for it. We have to use our memory. Memory, it's a very subjective thing. It doesn't actually exist. It's not a tangible object a physical object that we can actually perceive in reality. It's internal. And that's all good and all fine, but, we just have to see. If we look deeply into this idea of who we take ourselves to be, we'll see that it's just an idea. And people get very threatened by that. They don't want to, they want to concretize themselves. They want to make themselves real. They want to hold on to who they think they are. Nobody really wants to face the idea that maybe they don't actually exist. And that's one of the pillars that we have to look at, one of the avenues, we have to start thinking along those lines, because that's what it takes on the path to the soul to realize, that to realize the soul as an option. And the path to the soul is a real thing. A lot of Christians I walk, I talk to, I run into, they instinctively know that what I say about the soul, being born pure of a virgin, miraculous, buried and rejected, yet lives forever. They know in their hearts that there's some truth to that. They're like, wow, but they don't want to actually step in the arena. They just want to keep it there in the background and say, yeah, that's true. But, the option to actually have a spiritual awakening is there for everybody. And it's important. Like, again, the priorities have to shift and our attitude towards it has to shift. It's not, we can't go in it with the same attitude of trying to get something out of it, because most of the times the ego needs to try to get something out of it. It's the other way around. Like, the higher power will get something out of you. You have to give everything that you have, and all your power, all your strength, all your priorities, all your heart, everything that you think is important, is all has to be given up. And it's a continual thing. It's not just, just do it once or twice, and when I'm done, I can go back to what I was doing. No, it doesn't work like that. It's a life-changing experience, and it's an option. Spiritual awakening is here. It's a thing. I want to offer this to people who are wanting to at least hear about it and, just contemplating it as an option. And that's what I'm doing here with this channel, and that's what my video is about. So spiritual awakening is an option, and I want to present this to people who are interested, who are willing to learn and just understand how it happens and see for themselves, because that's what this is all about, spiritual awakening. And I'm here to share this information. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and all that good stuff. It's John Dominique, the Soul Proponent. Peace.